Hey everyone, so I thought something today, and the thought was, how do you actually draw a squiggly line? So, what do you mean by squiggly line? First, right? So, when you type in squiggly line and on Google, you get a lot of results. So, this one is quite easy. You can actually draw a sine wave, and you'll get this. It's quite easy. It's not a question. But actually, to draw something like this, of course. Yeah, how do you actually draw something like this? So you cannot use the random function because the random function would generate a random points across the lines. So that would not be a line, that would not be continuous. It would be like all these random points between point A to point B. So I was actually able to make something, and it's not perfect, but it works. So this line is something that I generated, and this is what I meant by a squiggly line. So what makes this a squiggly line? So what makes we do not have a clear definition here. So the definition is a line from point A to point B that has some sort of an organic feel to it. It is smooth enough, and it's random. So that is what we are gonna make, and it will reach from point A to point B. So you could actually generate different kinds of squiggly line with what we have here. You can actually make 55 to see interesting results if you try different things. So this is kind of a straight line, but it has a organic feel to it. Maybe you can increase the organic feel a little bit more so it's kind of a line that we can draw with a stroke of a hand. So it feels like a person drew this. So how do you actually make something like this? Before we go, we can actually do better, and we can go more crazier here. So this is also a squiggly line, and we could go more over here if we adjust the variables. So these are all lines that is generated by this thing. Maybe we go to 49. So you'll get a lot of different variations. What if we change this to 55 and 100? So so basically there are a lot of things to experiment with, and we'll be doing so the first one did actually look a little bit more better to me. So that is what we'll be going to achieve, kind of like this. So how do you draw this? So there are different approaches to this, and my approach isn't perfect because it starts from point A, alright, but it does not really end in point B. It'll end kind of near point B. If point B was, I'll show you the reference line that we are using to. Maybe we'll give it a little bit opacity. Yeah. So that is the reference line, and maybe if you're not able to see that. So that is the reference line that we are drawing over. We'll give it a little bit color too. So so our line stays around our reference line, but it does not actually end at the reference line end always. It kind of starts there, but ending is not always perfect. You can actually optimize this, but I'm not going to focus on that because that is not the point on this video. The point of this video is how to generate this squiggliness or this randomness in the line. So in order to do that, I'm going to erase this completely. And we'll start from scratch. So first thing we need is, I'm going to copy paste from here to save our time. First thing we need is a function to generate a random number between x and y. So this is absolutely not copy pasted from Stack Overflow, but so we have a function here that will generate a min and a max, and you can actually, it doesn't matter how this function is written. There are different ways to do this, but this is quite the most used one. So you'll have a math.random, and we'll divide the difference and add the minimum amount. Multiply the difference and add the minimum amount. So you'll get a reference random number between min and max. So we have that, and we'll try to draw a reference line. So what I'm using here is paper.js sketch. Okay, paper.js is a canvas library. I thought to use JS Fiddle, but the preview window is too small and I cannot code. So paper.js, I don't know much about this. I haven't really used it, but it's quite similar to other libraries like Fabric and the original canvas syntax. So I'll be able to kind of handle this. So first thing we need is we'll draw the reference line. In order to do that, we need a new point. We don't actually need that, sorry. Yeah, so we will, so this is how it works. We make a new path. Where did it go? Okay, we make a new path, we give it some color, and I'm gonna give it black. Yeah, maybe red would do. F0 will kind of reduce its opacity. Red. And stroke width is 1, we'll make it 2 because you can see it. And we'll move from, yeah, so we'll make an initial point that is gonna be saved in our init variable. Init is equal to point start.text start.y. We'll sorry, I did not say start and end. We need 2 points, right? I'm gonna make 2 objects here, 2 constants, start and an end. Both have an x and a y value, so that is around here and over here. So we'll go from this point A to point of start to point end point. So this is what we'll be doing. So the other thing is we have a point now, that is our initial point, and we need to say our path to move to that point. So our path will move to that point, and we'll say our path to draw a line. So we'll say our path to draw a line to a new point. That point is our end point, end.x and end.y. So if we basically play this, we'll see a red line from point A to point B. You can actually see the endpoints if you touch over here. Yeah, position, bounds and everything. So we have a reference line. So what we'll be doing is we'll be drawing a random function, random squiggly line over this reference line. So let's get started. So first thing we're gonna do is how I'm gonna explain how I'm gonna achieve this. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna split this single line into multiple parts, and we'll add a random number between negative x and negative y. So negative, so it will go up or down. So the y value will go up or down, and we'll split this line into multiple sections. I'll show you what I mean by this. So I'll say, you can actually, yeah, before I say anything, I need to make a new path in order to make that the squiggly line. I will make a new path, give it a color, and be back. Yeah, so that's it. I'll make a new path called the end path. You can name it whatever you want, and the end path stroke color is black, and the stroke width is 5, so it will look fatter than this line. And we will move our end path to the first point in the start. Okay, so our path will start from the point x. So remember what we did, we move to the x point and draw a line to the y point. Start point and draw a line to the end point. So move over here, move to init and line to end point. So that is what we're gonna do here. We'll move to the initial point, and you can actually use init here. You don't have to make a new point over here. So we'll move to the init and start from there. And we'll make a new variable called move. I'll tell you why that is. And y move, and it'll be the start, and it'll be initialized to the start x and start y, and we will have a loop. I'll explain this to you in a few seconds, so you'll understand why this is, because right now it will be kind of confusing. Increment. Okay, so I'll just copy paste everything. Okay, remove this. Okay, before that, I'm gonna explain why we did this. Okay, so we made a variable called move. We'll forget y move for now, and we'll give it increment between 15 and 25. These numbers are arbitrary. You can change it to change the squiggliness of the line. So we'll have a variable of increment, and we'll add the move to the increment. It will always be a random number between 15 and 25. Remember that the length of this line is about 700 pixels wide, or 600 or something. Yeah, 600 pixels wide. It is 50 to 650. That is 600 pixels wide. and we will add an increment of 15 to 25. You can actually change those numbers, and we'll have a point over there. And for now we'll just save this as start.y. The x point will change, but the y point will remain the same, and we will draw a circle at the random points. See what happens. Unexpected token, line 24. Yeah, so x.y, it was there, I forgot. Okay, so now we have different random points between the lines. So let's see what happens if we change this value 5 to 25. Different value will change to 5 to 105 and see what happens. So we'll get different points between the line, and the last point is always kind of buggy. We can actually fix that, but I don't wanna try to do that over here and explain the thing. So we have different points between 5 and, let's say 5 and 15. How it looks? How does it look? Maybe 5 and 35, 15 and 35 will be better. So we have different points between this line. Yeah, this looks absolutely better. And we will try to construct a line, construct a path with all these points in it. So, and we will change the y value of this randomly. So if we change the y value, it will go up and down. So if we change the y value between plus 10 and minus 10, that'd be like going, we'll add a y value and subtract a y value differently. So it'll be like the point would go up and point would go down. So you eventually get a squiggly line. So I'll show you how that happens. So we'll go and change a y value as well. Not just x increment, we'll have a y increment as well. That will be from a negative number to a positive number. So it goes up and down. And we will make a new point. Okay, maybe that's better. Make a new point over here. So we'll make a new point, and that point will be from, okay, before that we need to increment our move values. We need a different move value. Yeah, we did increment our x value, so we'll need a different variable for a y value. I have already made this over here. I'll just change the value over here. Plus is equal to y increment, y incr. So we have a different move value for both of this, and let's see what happens. Oops, current point has been defined here, but yeah, we do not need the new one over here, and we do not need the shape line, but instead we will draw a constructed path from it. Let's see how that goes. So you can see that we have a line now. We actually have a code for the squiggly line over here, but if you see, if I change the value from like 9 to 19, you'll see the difference over here. So it is not actually smooth or organic as we wanted it. So how do we make it smooth? So in order to do that, the easiest way is to use a paper.js smoothing function. Just call smooth on the path and it'll smooth itself out. So here's a code for the squiggly line, and we'll just remove this one. We'll just reduce opacity to 0. So here we have it. We have a squiggly line and we've successfully made it. So if anybody has a doubt, like what would you do to end the point at point y or point end point, so this is how we do it. Instead of having a random increment for y, you actually split the line into multiple sections, and on these split points you add the y increment. So you actually remain the start and the end point would remain the same. So that would be kind of good enough now, and there will be better solutions as well. So thank you.